Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to discuss Blizzard Activision yet again because since my last video talking about it, so much has happened. There was a walkout, apparently the company has hired a law firm that helps Amazon to prevent unionization of the workers, and we found out that apparently Jeffrey Epstein has connections to Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Blizzard Activision. So basically, it seems like the company can't get any worse at this point, and we have to talk about some of the recent things that have come out around Blizzard Activision. So let's get into it. So last week I did a video talking about Blizzard Activision and the recent allegations that have come out around them. I'll try to really quickly just summarize what I said in that video just so you guys don't have to go back and watch an entire other video just so you can understand what's happening in this one. But basically, Blizzard Activision is recently being sued by the state of California for human rights violations, sexual harassment, unequal pay, and a few other things. I really can't describe in just a couple sentences how pervasive and how toxic this environment was to work in, but I'll do my best. So there were these things called cube crawls, where men would drink copious amounts of alcohol, get on their hands and knees, and then crawl around into their female co-workers' cubicles and grope and harass them. There was also one instance that is particularly horrifying, where one female co-worker actually unalived herself because she could no longer handle the harassment that she was going through. Yeah, the scope of it is just not really something that I can summarize in a couple minutes, so if you want to see the full video, I will link that in the description below, but that is the general gist of what we are going to go over today. So after these allegations first came out, Blizzard Activision actually did put out a statement, and somewhat unsurprisingly, they were basically just trying to downplay it, say that, oh, this stuff all happened years ago, or it was taken out of context, or basically just trying to make it seem like it wasn't actually a big deal and the state of California was just pulling this out of nowhere and they were just dropping this lawsuit on them for no reason, which is totally how the state of California works. Yeah, the state just decides to sue companies for no reason whatsoever, knowing that if they don't have enough evidence, then the case is just going to be a waste of time and money. Because yeah, that's totally how this works. So Blizzard Activision received so much backlash for this statement that they actually did release a follow-up statement. In my opinion, this one is still not great. This one is definitely better. It at least does sort of nod to the seriousness of it. It does sort of try to address some of the concerns, but it also just seems kind of like window dressing because of some of the other actions that the company has been taking, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But after the initial statement was released, a bunch of employees, actually 2,600 of them, did band together and sign this formal letter just sort of condemning it and saying, we don't support the company's behavior, we don't support the company's response, and we want them to actually do something. And the employees have actually taken a very firm stance by doing a walkout, which we are going to talk about right now. So on Wednesday, employees actually organized a walkout where they stopped working for several hours, and the company actually did give them paid time off for this, which I feel like is another thing where they're just trying to make themselves look good. They realize that after their first response and after some of the other actions that they've taken, they look really, really bad in the public eye right now. So they're trying to do anything that they can to try to save face. I don't really think that this is them genuinely trying to make any positive changes, because if they were actually trying to make meaningful and positive changes, they would have addressed all of the worker demands. So I'll read aloud some of the worker demands so you guys can kind of understand what they're trying to do and what the purpose of this walkout was. Some of the things that they were advocating for and that they were trying to push the company to do were so rudimentary, you would think that they would already be in place, because it's literally the law. They were trying to advocate for equal pay and fair treatment and equal opportunity for people regardless of orientation, gender, skin color, and things like that, which again, those are all protected classes. You should already get those. You should never have to advocate for that at your workplace in America, but okay. But some of the things the company was a little bit less flexible with. Things like an end to the mandatory arbitration clause, which is in their contracts, which is basically just a clause that makes it so that they can't actually go forward with pressing charges legally or civilly against the company if anything like this does come up in the future. The workers also just wanted participation in the hiring policies, pay transparency, and also employee selection of third parties to audit HR and other company processes. So basically, they just wanted to have pay transparency so that people wouldn't be exploited depending on their gender, and also they wanted to have more control in how the company was managed. They wanted to have more control over the hiring process because obviously there was a lot of discrimination before. They also wanted to have more control over the whole HR third party thing, which is going on right now, where basically the company is hiring a third party to sort of go through these HR concerns, and the employees want to have control over that, especially considering that HR and upper management was really not respecting the employees and they weren't listening to them. I think it totally makes sense that employees of the company want to have a more active role in that side of things. And I really wish that the company was actually listening to these demands, but unfortunately, none of these demands have been met by the company. But it also looks like they are trying to prevent their workers from unionizing because they have actually hired WilmerHale, which is the same company that Amazon uses to prevent their workers from unionizing. Now, I know that this is a pretty controversial issue. I know that some people really hate unions because there's a lot of anti-union propaganda, and also like Amazon has really been pushing this message that if you unionize, it's going to steal all of your money because they're all corrupt and they're just going to rob you, as if that can't happen within the company itself. Like that totally, it's just impossible. Now, I'm not going to say that there is no potential for corruption or anything like that, because obviously anytime people get together, there is going to be some corruption. But basically, unions are really the only way that employees can get any sort of power back to the employees. Like, think of Blizzard Activision, okay? The company, the CEOs, upper management, they have all of the power. And we know this because we could see the company policies. We could see the fact that when women spoke out and tried to advocate for themselves, and when they tried to go to HR, they were laid off, or they were denied opportunities, or they were literally just ignored. But if you have a union, you can get a little bit more power, because instead of being an individual, and instead of just being able to be fired as soon as you speak out, you can band together with other employees and you can become a force that can actually work together to try to get a little bit better quality of life at your job. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I feel like unions are one of the very few opportunities in which employees can actually seize a little bit of power back from the CEO and back from upper management, which I think this company really needs. Like, one of the reasons that I have a really hard time believing that this statement that Bobby Kotick put out is actually genuine is because if they actually wanted to improve company conditions, if they actually wanted to make life better for workers, they would allow their workers to unionize. But instead of doing that, they have gone ahead and they have hired this company, which is known for preventing unionization. Now, I'm not going to say definitively that this was the purpose. Maybe it is just for HR purposes. Maybe it is just to try to help negotiate better terms for workers. But I really doubt it, because Amazon is so well known for using this company to prevent unionization, and the conditions for workers at Amazon, not super amazing. They're actually well known to be like objectively horrible. So it's just really ironic to me that this company is going to put out this statement about how we want to improve the company culture and make life better for workers, but in the same breath, they're going to admit that they are hiring this company to make it so that that same thing can't happen. Like, how does that make any sense? So I'm sure everyone probably remembers Jeffrey Epstein, right? Like, we haven't forgotten about that. That still exists? Everyone still remembers? Okay, cool, good. So Jeffrey Epstein had this little black book, where in this book he had basically all of his contacts. People like Donald Trump, Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, Prince Andrew, and a bunch of other really well-known, not good people were in this book. And funnily enough, we can actually find Bobby Kotick in this book. Now you might be thinking, how do we know it's the real Bobby Kotick? How do we know it's Activision Blizzard's Bobby Kotick? Well, let's look at the screenshot. So obviously his name is not spelled correctly, but if you look, I know it's kind of hard to see because the quality of the image is not that good, but you can see that the domain name is Activision.com. Now, I'm not saying that this is definitive proof of anything. I'm not saying that he went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I'm not saying that there are any people that have come forward and that he is, known to be doing the things that Jeffrey Epstein was doing. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, when your name is in Jeffrey Epstein's book and you're the CEO of a company with this many claims against them for that sort of thing, it just doesn't look very good. So I really just wanted to do a quick update video talking about what has happened with Blizzard Activision since my last video, because again, I think that this is a really important topic, and I think it's really important that we stay on top of this and that we keep educated about what is going on with this, because I think that this is not just one issue with one particular company. Yes, obviously it is one of the largest video game companies in the world. It has some of the most popular games in the world, but also this company, it's not the only time that something like this is going to happen. And I think that we need to pay attention to these things when they do happen, because they show that we have serious issues in our society and in our culture that we still need to work out. So that's really why I wanted to make this video, but also definitely let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this situation. Do you think that this points to a larger issue in society? Do you think that this points to a larger issue in gamer culture? And do you think that there's anything that we are not really fully understanding about the situation? Do you think there's anything that I missed? Definitely let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I would love to hear your thoughts, even if you guys disagree with me. Also, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate that. If you enjoyed what I had to say or found it to be informative, then definitely give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel so you get notified every time I stream or every time I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you especially to every single person who is supporting me over on my Patreon. You guys are so wonderful, and I appreciate you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone!